Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Let's Explore. I have put myself to the hard task to explain Donkey Kong for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Donkey Kong came out on many platforms and it all began in the arcade halls. Something we Dutchies aren't too familiar with, sadly. I don't think I've ever seen an original Donkey Kong arcade cabinet in my life, but I am familiar with the game. I think it was on the Commodore 64 when I first played it. It pulled me right in because, well, hard to explain, but it did. Comparing to other Commodore games, this game looked a bit better than the rest we had. And I think, through a kid's eye, that maybe flashy colors and funny characters are that appealing. But even now, many years later, I've picked it up and still managed to set a decent score. I even have the original NES cartridge, which I found a couple of years ago in a small store. And yes, this is a copy that includes Donkey Kong Jr., but I just want to talk about the one that sort of made Nintendo the brand we all know today. You might even recognize the game's main characters. Donkey Kong himself, being the game named after him, still appears in various games these days. But I feel really stupid right now explaining that to you, because it could be considered as common sense. The other character you recognize might be a bit trickier with the name. Just think of his name right now. Yeah, you got it? Now, did you also think of the name Jumpman? Because that's what he was originally called. Later on he became more notorious as the friendly plumber we all love today. That's right, the name that maybe some of you had in mind at first, Mario. And he had this game to thank for. Coming from the friendly mind of Shigeru Miyamoto, Donkey Kong first saw daylight in 1981. Since then he has been ported to many platforms so that even at home this game could be enjoyed. I know there are some differences between versions. I'm going to play the NES version, and that one doesn't even have the opening cinematic in which Donkey Kong climbs the ladders and then starts jumping and wrecking the place. But it does have the same game mechanics and the 3 levels. I'm not going to go too deep into history, but all I want to show you in this episode is what the game contains. So, let's explore. At the title screen you get the option to choose which game you want to play. Clear as water, you can see that there is an option to add a second player. But there is a game A and B in both options. There are many speculations on what is the difference between the two. But my opinion, and remember, this is my opinion and not something that may or not may be a fact. My opinion is that on game B the difficulty might be a bit higher than game A's on the start. I thought I saw a different timing on the barrels that were thrown down by Donkey Kong. And yes, I have checked for some answers on the internet, but this was apparently a tough question to answer. Please, if you do know, then correct me and fill me in on the comments. But for believing in my answer, I just played B a bit longer than A and found it entertaining nonetheless. So when fired up, you start on the first level. Even without the intro, you can tell that you need to go up. You see a giant monkey flinging barrels around and a damsel in distress. If you start moving with the directional buttons, then you see our Jumpman Mario walking around. So it's clear that you're going to play with him. It's your task to reach the platform in which Lady, or for the Western audience, including myself, Pauline stands, and by doing that you advance to the next stage. But going there is not that simple. On one screen you can see the whole stage. Follow your way up by use of the ladders and avoid the barrels that roll down. Don't stand for too long or the flame that comes right after you burns you. You can avoid the barrels by taking an early ladder, but sometimes barrels can come down these ladders too. If they don't, then they just roll off the edge and turn. Or avoid them by jumping over them. You are called Jumpman after all. Your jump action can be triggered by pressing A. Jumping over them gives you a clean 100 points and will be added to your total score. If you manage to get the hammer, then you can smash the barrels and get even more points. 500 per barrel, that is. The flame that you see will also appear on the second level. With the hammer equipped you can jump, and if not using the ladders, a fall can kill you. Everything that's supposed to kill does so with one hit. If the hammer wears out, then you can continue on your climb. It takes some time for the hammer to stop, and that's something that has always irritated me. The time that it takes for the hammer to stop. What does make it cool is the little tune that comes with the hammer. You younger players might recognize it from Super Smash Bros., but also older and therefore cooler gamers might just recognize it from this. If successfully climbed all the way to Pauline, then you will advance to the next stage after your victory music. The next stage can look confusing at first, but it's pretty straightforward. The elevators will take you up and down. Be sure to jump off when leaving, because walking off will kill you on the ground. You have the umbrella right above you on the start and it gives you 800 points. The same goes for the other collectible on the other side. Now viewers, help me out. I've always thought that was a purse, but I've heard that it's a bucket. I just leave that here. Moving on. On this stage you can find two flames, which are crawling up and down using the ladders. Donkey Kong got bored of the barrels and is now throwing springboards. They always appear the same and always follow one direction. They bounce 3 times and then fall off. They are always lethal, so prepare yourself for that. And if you also succeed on this stage, then the third and final stage awaits. The third stage also has Pauline and DK stand on top, but going there isn't just going to end it. Even if Donkey Kong is reached and touched, you die. Notice the yellow blocks on the stage? They hold the stage together. You need to walk over them all to the end of this stage, or in my case, jump over them. I once made a mistake by turning back and it killed me. So since then I've always jumped over them. Old habits die hard, right? A new enemy on this stage are the fiery fishes. They tend to move real slowly and you cannot jump over them. Your last resort would be the hammer, but keep that as a lifesaver. Again, the umbrella and purse bucket can be collected for points and jumping over the yellow bricks gives you a good 100 too. After clearing all the bricks, the stage will collapse and Donkey Kong will fall on his head, leaving you with Pauline. Is this the end of Donkey Kong? No. The game will repeat and the difficulty will be increased. All that remains is you as a player to try and set yourself a nice high score. Need any tips on scoring? Try to use the hammer when a lot of barrels are nearing on the first stage. Don't do it for a couple. With 4 on the way, that's a solid 1000 points. On the second and third stage, always go for the umbrella and man purse. Together it's an extra 1600 big boys. Don't take too long jumping barrels. A time bonus at the end will be awarded. Try and combine the perfect barrel jumping and level clearing to get the most points. And some tips besides getting points. The flame on the first stage can, unlike you, climb the broken stairs. Always check for climbing the last stairs. On level 2 a springboard might kill you while you're halfway on that ladder. This was the Let's Explore for this day. Hope I yet again picked some of your interest. And if I did, then please play this game and experience some classic gaming. Hello, this is Geoff. Thanks for watching Let's Explore Donkey Kong. Any suggestions on games can be left in the comment section. The Facebook link can be found in the description and join the Arcade Athletes today by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Please share with your friends who might also be into arcade or later gen gaming and tell them to like the videos, so that they can expect more. Click on the last video box for the last video and on the top pick box for a top pick. And the top pick of the day is Superplex. It was the first Let's Explore and I also hope you will like that one too. Thanks for watching and remember, you have seen it on the Arcade Athletes.